So I got to ask you this question because it's been asked about 4 times in the comments now. So speaking of throwing your body in the way of things, we've got both Piss Jug and we've got Greg Caton there asking about wanting us to hear a certain story. So can we please get the Jake Crist story of saving a guy from a car fire?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That
okay.
yeah,
All right.
that I wasn't expecting that just popped up. I was like, holy shit. Like I was reading that as you were I didn't know if that was your question or not. It just popped up as anyways, yeah, sure. I was coming home with two friends of mine from South Carolina. I was coming home from PW. What was it? PWX. Yeah, it's PWX in South Carolina. It's me, my buddy Bobby. If you see me at a wrestling show the last year and a half, you've probably seen my buddy Bob or Bobby Olson, but I call him Bob, because we know each other on a first name basis like that. So I shorten the Bobby to Bob. So yeah, you know when you're friends, you do that kind of shit. I was expecting a laugh or two from that, but
I was
anyways,
laughing. There was a
God,
delay. My bad.
oh God,
There
I'm
was because I was
crying.
trying to read
Right.
Donald. I was
There you
trying to
go,
read
Bobby
Donald's.
Olson. So
I was trying to read his comment.
Bobby Olson, and this older gentleman named Dave Ashburn. He's actually a preacher. We're coming back to Dayton from South Carolina. As soon as we get in the North Carolina border, we come upon this truck that was wrapped around a concrete pillar. And as soon as because traffic slowed down to a standstill, we're just kind of like, oh, not a standstill. I'm sorry, we're just kind of like cruising, and the truck starts to catch fire. So I tell Dave to pull over. Ashburn pulled over. I jumped over a concrete pillar, ran about, I think it was 200 or 300 yards to the burning truck, and lady was freaking out. She's saying, she was screaming, he's in there, he's in there, he's in there. And I opened up the door because this was an extended cab truck. So when I opened the door that she was at, it was behind the driver's side door. So I opened up the passenger side and the driver's side. I was like, what's I didn't see nothing. I seen so I go to the front door, and I just seen a pair of feet sticking up, and this flames are just engulfing this truck at this point. So I grab this person's ankles, and I jerk the body out as hard as I could. It hits the ground. I see that it was a gentleman, so I pull him up this hill, and by that time, Dave came up. He grabbed his wrists, I grabbed his ankles. We pulled him about another 40 or 50 yards. That's when Bobby came in all panting, all sweating, trying to get over, and a bunch of cars were just speeding by. There was probably about 4 or 5 people just that was probably there before me, just watching this man burn to death essentially in this truck. And police ambulance come, get them all loaded up, and I do my statement, and we get back on the road. And it was the most crazy, I think it was about 6 or 7 hours left to date at that time. It was went through a crazy emotional roller coaster during that 6 or 7 hours. It was pretty crazy. Smelling the burnt hair and flesh, like it was burnt in my mind, and I could smell it for months after. Like it took. It took Dave. He found out. I think it was 6 months after the accident that the gentleman survived. So we had to he had hired a private investigator and found out that he survived. So thank God that was there, right place, right time. I just did what hopefully if I was in that situation, hopefully someone would do that for me.
Yeah.
That's all that I did.
Yeah, definitely.
How bad was
So,
the fire damage when you had got to him?
oh, so the fire, he had probably 80% of his body from head to his ankles, because he was wearing shorts, so his skin was just melted off. But probably 80% melted. Hair was just he had like dreadlocks and stuff. The ends were bleached blonde, but they were all like melted and stuff together. So it was pretty crazy. It was when I seen those pair of shoes hit me in the face as soon as I opened that door. I mean, it was literally fired and was engulfed this man's body. Like it was just all around. Like so, I was lucky that I got there at the right time.
He's lucky you were a fire starter.
Well, I guess I didn't start that one though. I did not start that.
To clarify, yeah,
I did not start that one. But yeah, that it man, like almost a year to the date is when I put out that promo burning the belts. But I got a lot of shit for that. And I'll tell you the story on that too. So that night, I called 3 people. I called my wife, I called Sammy, and I called my buddy Jeremiah. My buddy Jeremiah happened to be wrestling for IWA Mid South that night, and it was during Ian's it was during his infamous locker room meetings after the show. So I guess Jeremiah sushed him, was like, shh, shh. Jake's on the phone. He walked outside. I told him what ended up. I told him the story I just told you guys. And he came back, and Ian was giving him shit. It's like, don't shush me in front of my own locker room. He's like, hold on, this is what happened. This is why I did that. So he told Ian the story of what just happened. And then a whole locker room ended up finding out. It was I don't know, the time I woke up, I think it was 12 or 1 because I had to go to Indianapolis for an IWA Mid-South show the next day. So I was just catching some sleep from the night before. And I woke up to so many different text messages and so many notifications on my phone throughout social media, and just people getting a hold of me throughout the business, asking me what happened. So after talking to a couple people, I decided to say, screw it. I'll put a little statement online of what ended up happening, and then I got ripped to shreds. They tore me apart. It was clout chasing and all this shit. I was just made up this story or something, but yeah, it was a shit. So I ended up taking it down because I was getting a lot of heat from saving a man's life, a legit saving a man's life. I got a lot of fucking heat from saving a man's life. That's how thank you, world. You're awesome. You're fucking awesome, world. Way to make a man feel great about himself. Right? Yeah, dude, it's so crazy that you literally going up here to literally going all the way down, just seeing I can't believe that he would tell the story. Well, I got tired of typing it out 40 times. So I was like, screw it. Here's what happened.
Official statement.
Here's that official statement, and
leave it to the fucking internet to ruin it all.
Look, man,
shit on it.
With that kind of shit,
later, I get praised for burning a piece of shit's belt. So it's just, the world is a strange, crazy fucking place. Like literally save a man's life. And it's like, oh, he's clout chasing. I guarantee you that man's life and his family isn't thinking that I'm clout chasing. They're thanking me and glad that I was there to pull the man out of that burning truck.
I say it all the time with social media, especially with the ones I interact with, because at this point I've kind of boiled my social media life into Twitter for the most part. And as you guys all know, Twitter's probably the most toxic of them all. And it really is. It's the negative comments that get the most likes.
I mean, like it made me feel like
you know,
shit.
like,
It made you feel like shit for, you know, doing something heroic like that. Like there was legit 300 or 400 cars just speeding past, just passing by, like just gawking. You know, like I said, there was 4 or 5 people on the hill when I got there that was just watching this man burn to death, burned alive in a fucking truck. Like that's the world that we live in. So like when my fight or flight was on, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. It's like, you know, I seen 300-400 people just legit pass off. Like, you know, like if it wasn't for me screaming at the top of my lungs, like we would have just kept rolling by. Right. Like I damn near made Dave pull over. Like Ashburn, pull over. Ashburn, pull over. Like if you ask Bobby about the story, he's like, man, you hit the pavement before the car was in park. Like, so I mean, like that's just what I remember. Like he'll have a better story because he's seen it firsthand. It's like I legit, from what I remember and from what Dave and from what Bobby told me and I pieced together, like I legit, it happened so quick and it happened so fast. Like I wasn't thinking. See, if I was thinking, like I have a wife and I have 2 children. Like I wasn't thinking in this situation. Like if you think about what I just said, that like
you were just reacting.
I was just reacting to a situation. So like I'm just happy I was put there for a reason. You know, like shit happens for a reason. I do believe that. I truly believe that. So I was just happy.
Kicked in when they did too, that you reacted as quick as you did, like you were saying, you know, immediately running to the scene as soon as you could.
It was legit around 300 yards or so. Like I ran a football field or 2 in my day, so I know what that's like.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, dude. And all I was trying to spit out is it's like the thing is with stuff like that is when you step up and you know, like you said, fight or flight in a situation like that, you saved a man's life. You know, social media can be a nasty place. And at the end of the day, that's going to be one of those things you'll receive yours in full, you know, whether it's here or in another life or something like that. That stuff doesn't go unnoticed because, like you said, there were hundreds of people that were passing by that, and you had the balls to go run in there and save a man's life. And now he's alive because of that. So,
like, we just got into Charlotte. Like, if anyone knows anything about, you know, Charlotte, North Carolina, they know it's a huge, busy place. I mean, it was legit around 200 or 300 cars that was passing by. It was pissed off because they were slowed down.
Yeah.
You know, because of an accident. Because I mean, how many times, like, we've been running late to something, you know, a job or, you know, booking. And it's like, you know, a traffic jam hits and it's like, oh, fuck, you know, like you immediately get pissed. That's just the instinct of the world. But, you know, like these guys were legit just pissed off because they were slowed down just a little bit. Because, I mean, they were speeding by. Like these people in Charlotte were fucking speeding by. They didn't want no part of that shit. No part of that at all.